Hello, I am Nick RP Green, and this is Metal Gear Solid PC. I'm going to be doing an all bosses run on easy difficulty. Now, because this is on PC, it is quite different from the console version. So if you've seen a console speedrun of Metal Gear Solid 1, don't think you know how the run goes, because PC has some very, very special exclusive skips. But without further ado, we are going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so first things first, I can skip the opening cutscene straight away by holding the X button. There's almost no loading between cutscenes in this game on PC, so just by holding the X button, you immediately skip them. You don't even see them. I'm going to go and choke this guard, just so that we get rid of this guard. And then I'm going to do something very, very silly. I'm going to deliberately get spotted by this guard and run away. But it's okay. I'm gonna stay out of the way here. Just hide behind this box. Oh, for some reason I'm now knocking. That guard's on the way. Oh no, I've been spotted again. Oh, I'm gonna have to run away and try and evade him again. And at this point, you're probably thinking that I'm doing this deliberately, and you'd be very, very right. So what I'm doing here is called alert farming. In the docks here, there is a lift that we are waiting for, and that lift always comes down at the exact same time. We are just going to have to wait for that lift to arrive. So whilst we wait for the lift to arrive, we're going to do what we call alert farming. And the reason for alert farming is that towards the end of the game, Snake loses the POW key. Ocelot shoots out of his hand, and it falls down into the drainage ditch. If you have less than 11 alerts by the time you go down to the drainage ditch, a rat will have eaten the key. And you have to find and kill the rat and then retrieve the key. And the rat spawns in a few different locations. Some are really slow, some are really fast. And it can be a bit fiddly killing the rat. However, if you have at least 11, the rat won't spawn, and the key will instead be in a random location in the drainage ditch. And that is much quicker and much better than trying to kill the rat. So throughout the run, I'm going to be acquiring 11 alerts, and I've already got 6. So all I need to do is get 5 more alerts throughout the run, and most of those are mandatory anyway. I'm going to get past this guard very quickly. Guards can't really look down. They only look straight forwards. And as a result, I can run straight out in front of that guard, and he won't see me. Good evening, Solid Tony. Welcome to the stream. Alright, so that's the dock. So, you may also notice I can skip codec calls. In the PC version, you just push start to skip a codec call. Don't have to mash through it. Now, one of the major things that the PC version includes is weapon hotkeys. You may have noticed there that I did not open my weapon menu to equip that chaff grenade. And that's because when they made the PC version, they decided to add weapon hotkeys. So the number keys, 1 to 0, at the top of your keyboard, each correspond to a different weapon. For example, chaff is 9. So by holding 9, as I ran over those chaff grenades, I immediately equipped them. 1 is SOCOM, 2 is FAMAS, 3 is grenade, 4 is Nikita, 5 is Stinger, 6 is... 6, I can't remember. 6 is Claymore, 7 is C4, 8 is Stun Grenade, 9 is Chaff Grenade, and 0 is the PSG-1. And that's all the weapons in the game. And we are going to abuse that. But not just yet. We've got a little while before we can start abusing that. I'm going to throw a chaff grenade at this box to distract the guard down there so that he doesn't come over to me. And then we're going to head down and we're going to go and find the DARPA chief. So because this is an all bosses run, the requirement for this run is that we defeat every single boss. Now, if you were doing any percent, where you just have to beat the game as quickly as possible, we'd actually do a glitch in that vent that was just there on the right next to the ladder, we can go out of bounds and get straight into the torture section, skipping the first 20 minutes of the run. But as this is all bosses, and we are tasked to defeat every boss in the game, we're not allowed to do that. And we have to go through the game. For the most part, we go through the game normally. There's no major, like, huge skips, but there's a couple of useful skips that we can do. So now we've met the DARPA chief. We've skipped all of the DARPA chief's cutscenes, and he's died of a heart attack. So we're just going to wait. Now the vent glitch that I just talked about for any percent, you can do that with most things that you can crawl under, including beds, but not like that. You have to go a little further back for a bed. There you go. By using the vent glitch, I can jump up on top of the bed like this. Not very helpful. Just looks a bit silly. Okay, so first, this is the guard encounter. And this isn't actually a boss, but we still have to do it. So I'm going to be trying to conserve my ammo. It takes 3 shots to kill a guard. So ideally, I only want to shoot 9 times for each round of guards. By doing so, I'll save some ammo throughout as well. So I'm going to go and stand here. 9 shots. Unequip. And re-equip, because that immediately reloads the weapon. A little messy there. So, unequip, re-equip. I'm not doing very well at conserving ammo here. And there's no more ammo to be dropped now. There we go. Equip my level 1 cards. And that is the guard encounter. But that's not a boss. If we could find a way to skip that encounter, then we could skip it, and it would be fine for all bosses. But we don't know how to do that yet. Okay, so now we are going to go up against the first boss of the game, Ocelot. So I'm going to be grabbing some C4. I'm also going to grab some grenades, and then I'm going to deliberately blow myself up. But don't worry, I'm not going to take a death. So I'm going to grab some C4. And I'm going to go and grab grenades, because I need grenades for the tank fight a little later. I'm going to equip the C4 with 7. And then I'm going to quickly equip some rations. And by doing that, and blowing myself up, I immediately transition into the next area. So it's a little quicker than just waiting for the explosion like that. So, equip the SOCOM. And then shoot Ocelot once. Shoot again. Oh, I got shot there. That's going to slow me down. Oh, I just shot Baker. That was silly. A little slow there. You should be able to just keep spinning around him and getting him every time. So that was a little slow, but not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. Then unequip, re-equip to reload. Equip my level 2 card, and we're on our way. I'm going to do here a quick throw. So that throw is not very easy to see there. It was better when I did it on the heliport. But you can quick throw guards by re-equipping a weapon partway through the animation of flipping the guard, because it cancels the animation and you can start running again. I am now going to use the vent glitch. So we talked about the vent glitch earlier. We're going to use the vent glitch to go under here. Go out of bounds, and go around, skipping the laser room. So we don't have to call Meryl. We don't have to wait for her to open the door. We don't have to try and navigate through the lasers. We just run around to the trigger on the other side of this door. Taking that diagonal line there means we avoid any claymore mines. And now we are going to fight the tank. By taking that exact line there, that little hill that I just went over takes the shot of the tank missile. And on easy difficulty, at least, as long as you dunk the grenade into the lap of the guard, like that, it'll kill him in one go. And that's a perfect M1 tank. I grabbed both sets of ammo at the end, and I'm now nicely set up with ammo for other portions of the run later. So into the into the nuclear building. Now, this first time going through here isn't going to be the same as the other times we go through here. We have a very exact route to grab those chaff grenades and run up these stairs so that that guard turns immediately as we get to the top. And that's a very, very easy room there as a result. You saw me quick throw the guard at the top again. Now we're going to go and grab the Nikita because we still need the Nikita to get to Otacon. Only going to grab the launch. I'm not going to grab any ammo because we're only going to use one shot. I'm only ever going to fire one Nikita round. I'm not going to use the Nikita at any other point during the game. You might think, oh, but what about Raven? Or, ooh, what about Sniper Wolf 2? Don't need it. You can actually do Raven with the Nikita, but I prefer to do Raven with grenades. Skip the cutscene. Skip this call, and then we need to shoot the control panel just by knowing the movement of the missile. There we go. I actually made the missile explode a little early by using a weapon hotkey to unequip the Nikita and equip the chaff grenade instead. So now onwards to Otacon's lab, and we're going to go into the next boss fight. Oh, I hate that door. Urgh! That door's very annoying. It's kind of awkward to get through that gap without getting through the door effectively, but also not getting shot by the gun turret. It's a ghost. It's a ghost. So this is going to be the ninja fight, and the ninja fight is my favourite fight in the game. It's reasonably clean. It's not overly technical. It's just about playing the fight well and landing your combos. As long as you land all of your combos, then you will get the fight done in the quickest time possible. So not going to use any weapons. This is fully melee. This fight. It's random which direction he jumps, and jumping over to the left is the slowest, unfortunately. I'm now going to unequip my chaff grenade, because if he sees me with a weapon, he might run away. Because he wants to fight hand-to-hand now, not with weapons. So it's all about just making sure you get a full PPK combo at every hit. Because by doing this fight perfectly, not missing any combos, we can avoid him saying a very long line during the final phase. This bit of hide and seek is completely random where the ninja goes. We can't control where he goes at all. The only thing we can do is just react as quickly as possible. Let's go and stand in the middle of the room. That was quite lucky there. Okay, so again, I need to try and make sure that I hit him perfectly here. Oh, I mistimed that a bit. That's fine, as long as I'm still hitting him. I can stand 2 tiles away from him and then start punching as soon as he gets into my reach and hit him before he teleports. Oh! Okay, he didn't move directly towards me there. He decided to move up. And unfortunately, that means we have to listen to this bone and sinew line. Which is, that line is quite slow. So that's unfortunate there. We didn't skip that line. All we're going to do now is just, as the final phase, he always goes to the exact same location, we just shoot him. And that is the ninja fight. So a little slow because we didn't skip the bone and sinew line at the end there. But overall, not a bad fight. Re-equip chaff grenades, and we're going to go and find Meryl. One thing I haven't explained is why have I always got a weapon out? Why do I usually have chaff grenades out? Well, Snake runs quicker when he has a weapon equipped than when he doesn't have a weapon equipped. And as chaff grenades are the first weapon we pick up, we usually end up carrying chaff grenades around. I'm going to grab those stun grenades because I'm going to need those stun grenades for a couple of moments later in the run. Get in the elevator. If the elevator doesn't come straight away, you can tap the button again and the doors will immediately open. But it is random as to how quickly the elevator comes. Sometimes you can push the button once and it'll immediately open. Sometimes it takes longer. So this is Meryl in disguise. We're going to grab the cardboard box. She's going to run off to the bathroom. We're going to chase her. I'm now going to equip my stun grenades because that's the next weapon that I'm going to be using.
Don't move. Okay, let's go.
So now we are going to be going into what is probably one of the most famous fights in video game history, Psycho Mantis. Unfortunately, because this is a speedrun, you're not really going to see any of the things that make Mantis such an interesting boss fight. He's not going to make our controller vibrate. He's not going to tell us what's on our memory card because we don't have a memory card. He just skips that section on PC. We're not going to see the screen go black and it say Hideo because we're on PC and it can't do that. And we're also not going to switch to a second controller. On the PC version, Mantis expects you to use your keyboard instead of your controller to defeat him. So in order to do this without having to switch to keyboard, because it's very awkward to use the keyboard, we set our controllers so that square. I'm using an Xbox controller, so it is X for me, but on a PlayStation controller it would be square. Is actually control on the keyboard, because control on the keyboard is the default for fire. So we are free to shoot him without any issue. Shoot him there. Need to hit him 7 times. 5, 6. Oh, one more. 7, and then I'm going to throw a grenade at him to do a phase skip. So by hitting him 7 times and then throwing a grenade, we do exactly enough damage to him so that we finish the first phase and immediately skip the second phase, which is why Meryl immediately flops back down on the floor. So Meryl's now going to try and shoot herself. All we got to do is flip her. You don't need to throw a stun grenade, you don't need to punch and kick her, just need to flip her once and that's enough. So I'm going to quick throw her. And then I'm going to throw one more grenade at Mantis. This isn't actually going to do any damage to him. It just means he's going to stop playing hide and seek. Now I'm just going to stand here. I'm perfectly lined up. And that is Mantis. Mantis is probably the most complicated boss fight in the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's too difficult. Once you know how it's done and you know where he's going to move to, you can predict his movements, and it's not too bad. Right. So we skipped the cutscene of them coming into this room, but then there's this little one here. We're going to use the vent glitch and the cardboard box to go out of bounds here, so that we don't have to run through the cave. There we go. So then cardboard box, and we're out of bounds. So for some reason, being in the cardboard box whilst you drop down from that ledge, you're able to clip through the wall, go out of bounds. We don't have to run through the cave. We don't have to try and dodge the dogs. We can just clip out of bounds and go to the movement trigger on the other side of this door. Same way we did for getting into the snowfield quickly.
This place is mine. I'll take point again.
So we can't skip this cutscene of Meryl walking around the mines, but what Meryl does here is a bit silly. She knows exactly where the mines are. She knows the best way of getting around them without getting blown up. But her pathing isn't great, if I'm honest. Doesn't that look like you could probably skip a little bit of that? Because if that's what you're thinking, you're absolutely right. And we're going to show Meryl exactly how you avoid mines once she's finished talking.
So, what do you think? Pretty good, huh?
Not pretty good. There's a better route.
Weird.
There's a
When
much
Nancy
faster
drove
route.
into my mind, I was able to see where the mines were placed. Are you impressed?
Wow, a little bit.
Only a little?
All I'm going to do is hold up. Mines avoided. So Meryl's now going to get shot. And if you've played this game before, you might now be thinking, oh, this is the PSG-1 backtrack. You've got to backtrack all the way to the armory to grab the PSG-1. You might be thinking, oh, but this is a speedrun, so maybe it doesn't have to do it. Maybe there's a skip. Nope. We still have to go all the way back to the armory. I throw a stun grenade there just to stun all of the wolves so that I don't have to worry about trying to shoot them or about them attacking me. There's no way that they're up in time. And that's the only time throughout the run we have to go through the cave, because we skipped it the first time by doing the box trick. We're going to do a different trick on the way back, and you'll see that in a few minutes. So yeah, we are going to have to go all the way back to the armory and grab the PSG-1, but because this is a speedrun and movement is very fast, it's not actually that far. If you played this as a kid, you might think that, you know, you took like another hour to get all the way back there. It's really not that far. It just felt like it at the time. But as speedrunners, we can get back to it very, very quickly. And the journey there isn't that difficult. This room, there's nothing to do in this room. We just run through it. No guards are in the way, which is nice and handy. But then there is a special way that we're going to be grabbing the PSG-1, and I'll be showing you that in a second. Just do a spin to get out from under that door a bit quicker. There are now more mines in this field, but we can take a very specific line by following the line down the middle here. That gun turret can't shoot me. And then I just need to move a little bit further to the right here. And we won't get hit by any of the mines. It's not very easy to see, but there is like a grid on the floor where it's just the same snow texture repeated. So it creates a grid. And by knowing where the grid is, we can just follow that grid to avoid the mines. So I'm going to switch to my stun grenades. Because I'm going to get found in this room. But I'm going to get found deliberately so that I don't have to crawl underneath the lasers. So that guard's going to spot me. I'm going to throw a stun grenade, quickly switch back to my chaff. Stun grenade's going to go off. And I need to call this elevator before that guard gets up. That was very, very lucky. Ooh. A split second later, and that guard would have seen me. I was very, very lucky. The later you throw the stun grenade when you go in the room, the more time you give yourself. So I was a little quick on that. I got quite lucky. Also, if the elevator turns up straight away, you've got a bit more time. So throw a stun grenade there because you can get shot by these turrets on the way back. The one on the right's not too bad. It's this one directly ahead of Snake that can shoot you. Okay, so now getting back through this room is different to the first room. I'm going to be throwing another chaff grenade and distracting a guard. Exactly the same way that I did in the tank hangar at the very start of the game. But this one is a little bit more impressive. I'm going to cook the chaff grenades. Throw it over there. And quick throw that guard. I can promise you that that trick is a lot harder than it looks. Is very, very precise movement. There is a little bit of room for error, and you'll still get it right. In fact, there's a couple of locations where the guard will walk in a different direction or not go as far, and you can still pull it off. But that was perfectly thrown, and as a result, we get through there as quickly as possible. Okay, so I'm out of bounds, and I'm now running down. I'm going to clip out of the bottom of the level through to the top of the level and go through the door at the other end. Oh, just mistimed that slightly. And Sniper Wolf. And she started behind that pillar. If she goes behind that pillar, there's nothing you can do but wait. And she's behind... Oh. So there's nothing particularly special about Sniper Wolf here. It's just a normal fight. We just do the fight as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, she's being very unkind by hiding behind that pillar. And there's nothing I can do when she does it. Oh, wow. She's hidden behind... Oh. Ow. And that's Wolf. That was unfortunately very slow because she decided to go behind that pillar 3 times. Unfortunately, that fight is completely random. There we go. Just did the same again. Clip through to the other side of the level, and we're here. Don't worry. We're now captured. There's not a lot to do whilst we wait for capture. So this is the perfect opportunity to explain what on earth I just did. Just gonna we can't skip this cutscene here. We're gonna skip these 2 cutscenes of Ocelot explaining how torture will work. Mash select and submit to torture because killing Meryl and submitting to torture is quicker. We can't skip this cutscene. But we are now captured. We're now going to try and escape. So, what happened? How did I go out of bounds? So I talked earlier about weapon hotkeys, and the thing with weapon hotkeys is that we can interrupt the animation of Snake equipping the PSG-1, and during the animation of Snake equipping the PSG-1, and this works on console as well, Snake is invincible. Snake can't be shot or hit or punched or anything whilst going into that animation. Because we have weapon hotkeys and we can switch weapons at any moment, we can interrupt the animation of going into the PSG-1 in order to cancel it. Because Snake is invulnerable and hasn't completed the animation, he stays invulnerable. During what we call GME, or God Mode exploit, Snake is completely invincible. What's more, Snake's position in the game gets confused. The game doesn't really understand where Snake is, because it expects him to be on the floor with the PSG-1. So as a result, if you activate GME by equipping another weapon and Snake ends in a crouch, we go into what we call GME 2, and in this mode Snake is able to skip triggers. So that means if a door is open and you go into GME 2, Snake will ignore the trigger to move into the next area if he goes through that door. Therefore, you can go out of bounds. Whilst you're out of bounds, each level, if you go too far down in a level, you will come out the other side, and that's how we get through the cave and the underground passage very, very quickly. We clip through to the other side, and that skips most of the room. Alright, here's Otacon, and we are now going to get out of prison. Exactly the same way that we do in a normal run, use the ketchup to trick Johnny. There's nothing particularly special about the speedrun in this point, apart from doing it quickly. Now, unfortunately, this is a non-canon run. We've already killed Meryl by submitting to torture. We're also going to be killing Johnny. The reason we're going to be killing Johnny is because it is the quickest way of getting past him. If Johnny is still conscious as you try and leave, he will chase you, and a cutscene will play where he has stomach problems again and runs off to the toilet. This is very, very slow. So the quickest way is to get the alert and choke him out. Did another animation cancel by equipping the card key once I'd snapped his neck. Oh, grab the gear. Weapon hotkey to equip a chaff grenade. And we have escaped. So now we've got some more backtracking to do. We've got to get back to Communication Tower A. And this is going to be exactly the same route as we did after we grabbed the PSG-1. So nothing particularly different here. I do need to do the chaff throw one more time in the base, in the nuclear building. But GME is very, very handy and is the reason why the PC version is a lot quicker than the console run. Well, it's one of the reasons why the PC version is quicker. Skipping cutscenes and skipping codec calls very quickly also helps. Alright, so I've got to do this exact same trick one more time. I'm going to step carefully over to that side, spin around to get out quickly, start cooking at the last missile. Perfect. And that's it. We never have to return to that room again. So, going to go through Mantis's office again. When we get to the cave, I'll be doing GME to skip around to the other side of the level. You may have noticed at points throughout the run, I've been doing this movement. In the PC version, as opposed to the console version, Snake doesn't have full 360 degrees of movement. You can only move in up, down, left and right, and then 4 diagonals. And moving diagonally is slower than moving at a 90-degree angle. Oh, I've mistimed that again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, if you time that right, you can drop immediately off that roof there. So I'm going to cook a grenade here, throw it through this door, trigger the alerts, grab the rope and start climbing. And of course, I'm invincible. I went into GME the moment I came into this room, so these guards can't hurt me. So this is quite a trivial room here. I've just got to climb. Nothing more to do. So the reason I threw that grenade is when you go through the door, there's a camera above the door that spots Snake, and you see a little cutscene of guards running down the corridor getting ready to chase Snake. But if you throw a grenade through the door, it also works with a stun grenade, but if you throw either a grenade or a stun grenade through the door, the alert gets triggered early and you don't see that cutscene. So we're just going to climb the tower. Nothing more to it. These guards can't hurt me. I'm in GME state 1, so because I didn't go into a crouch, I was still stood up after I cancelled the PSG1 animation. So we're only in GME 1, so I can still, there's still triggers. If I go through a door, I can still go through a door. But I'm completely invincible. I can't interact with anything at first. You may have noticed after I went into GME, I immediately went into first person. Going into first person allows Snake to then interact with objects again. That's very important because there is a ladder at the top of this room. And I need to be able to interact with that ladder to progress. So you have to go into first person after going into GME so that you can interact with things like ladders, control panels, and also your weapon and inventory menus. You can't open those either. I'm going to be using GME here again to skip the cutscene of Snake going out onto the roof. And then there is the cutscene here of... The cutscene there of Liquid shooting down the bridge. That is a bit quicker because we've done GME and started that a bit earlier. This is the rappel sequence. There's no special tricks or glitches with this. It's just about getting through this very quickly. And we have a very particular route that we take to get through it. So I'm going to go down to the left here. I'm going to bounce off that left wall to the middle. Get shot by Liquid there so that I go onto this panel, run down there, all the way over to the other side, run down this one. Ooh, unfortunately, I got shot by Liquid there, so that's going to be a little bit slow, unfortunately. But that's not too bad. And we're at the bottom. I'm going to hold the inventory menu to immediately equip the card, GME. And because I'm invincible, I can just run through these guards. And like I said a minute ago, when you enter GME, you can't use your item menus, so it's important that before doing GME in cases like that, you equip your card key first, because otherwise I would not have been able to go through that door. Okay, so now we are in Communication Tower B. We are coming up to the next boss fight, which is the Hind D. We're going to run all the way down these stairs. Snake is going to discover that the stairs have been blown up, and he can't progress any further, because he's a wuss, and he doesn't want to jump down a little gap. is a little bit pathetic that he's, you know, he just rappels down the side of a building and he can't make that little jump. So we're going to have to go all the way back up again. However, we are going to use GME here to skip the cutscene with Otacon, where they talk about love blooming on the battlefield, and you know, Otacon says, "I'll try and fix this lift," and all that. We're gonna skip that cutscene by going into GME, if I can get my movement correct. So I'm gonna GME here. That skips this cutscene. This box, there is actually a box there. It's invisible, so I had to go around it. Now, one other thing with GME is when you skip triggers, you also skip cameras changing. So as you can see, the camera isn't changing, and I'm just continuing to run. Now, luckily, it is very easy to cancel this, and I'm going to do that right now by going prone. By going prone, oh, whoops. That's just poor movement. By going prone, you reset the camera, and you can see again. Except apparently it hasn't quite worked. I'm not quite sure why, but I am now at the okay, I'm just going to go into first person instead, because the PC version has first person view mode from the very start. So I'm just going to run up in first person instead. I need to grab that. Oh, you can't. There we go. You can't grab ammo packs in first person. That was a little awkward. All right, the Hind D fight, and we are going to go. I'm going to take my first shot. GME, so I'm invincible. And I'm going to aim just above the Hind D and shoot, and that is going to hit him. I'm going to do that 3 times. That's again another great shot. Hit him again normally. Aim just above him. And that's a perfect phase 1. Liquid has said nice shot, which means he's getting ready to go into phase 2. And he's going to stand on this panel here and aim over here. Liquid's going to line himself up, and he's going to shoot a missile that like takes out this whole platform here. You can push 5 to equip the Stinger again and get the crosshair overlay there. By shooting the moment that missile lands, the explosion happens exactly at the right time. Missed that one, but that's okay. I can afford to miss 1 shot. Now what I need to do here is I need to keep Liquid here. I need to keep shooting Liquid as quickly as possible, because if I don't, he will drop below the tower. And if he drops below the tower, I can't hit him, and I can't do anything except wait for him to come back up. And it's very, very slow if I have to wait. But as long as I keep hitting him, like as soon as his iframes wear off, he won't duck down and he'll be forever stuck trying to shoot me. But that was perfect. Got him every time. I've got 5 Stinger ammo, which is what I need ready for Sniper Wolf. And that is the Hind D fight. And equip the Stinger there as well. Just going to watch that missile come and land. We're invincible. We're not going to get hurt by it. And yeah, that's the Hind D. Very, very good fight. That went very, very well. Mash select to immediately answer the upcoming codec call. I hit 9 whilst Snake was ranking up there to immediately equip a chaff grenade. And now we're going to head back down again. But before I do, we're going to be beating Wolf 2 with a combination of the sniper rifle and the Stinger missiles. So I need to grab those. That Stinger ammo there. I then went into GME, just GME 1, don't need to go into GME 2 here, but that means that I'm not going to get shot by any of these gun turrets. So just going to make my way down. We're going to be skipping the elevator fight, because we can use GME to go out of bounds and drop all the way down to the bottom of the tower, straight out into the snowfield for the Wolf 2 fight. So we're not going to fight the 4 stealth guys in the elevator. We're going to completely skip that. Just keep on running down the stairs. Around that box. Out of bounds, drop down there, and through the door. Right, Wolf 2, we just use it, there's no particular like glitch or skip or anything. We just use a combination of the Stinger launcher and the sniper rifle to try and beat her as quickly as possible. This is the worst boss fight in the game. Wolf's movements are completely random. Where she runs to and when she shoots, it's all random. So when she goes behind a tree, quickly grab the stinger out. You can shoot her while she's on the run, but you have to line it up well. Just gonna hide behind that tree, and that should be the fight. Whoops, got shot at the end there because I went too far forwards. But that was a good fight. She didn't go behind. There's a snowdrift right in the middle of that fight, and there's if she goes behind that snowdrift, then you just have to wait. And if she goes behind that snowdrift multiple times, you have to wait longer. Going to GME before go through this door. That means that we don't ever go in the room. The textures and boundaries don't load, and I can skip straight through to the end of the room there. Going to go back out and back in, because when you first enter, this lift is on its way up, and you have to wait for the lift. But if you exit the room and re-enter the room, then the lift is already here waiting for you. Going to GME so that I can't be hit here. Oh, whoops. Okay, apart from missing that first combo, that wasn't too bad. So what I did there is I did something called kick cancelling, which I'll be able to show you on the next elevator. And what kick cancelling is once you've finished a PPK, a punch kick combo, if you tap X the moment you finish the kick, that gun turret there is completely random as to whether it shoots you or not. So it's just quicker to just take the hit. So yeah, if you tap X the moment you've kicked, you will cancel the animation. You can cancel the animation early before Snake kicks. So you see I'm cancelling the animation by tapping X. I can cancel it early. And by doing so, that means that we cancel the animation, Snake can start running onto the next guard a bit quicker. Unfortunately, that first guard that I punched, I accidentally started the animation cancel a little too early, so he didn't land the kick, which is why I then needed to land another combo on him. Went into GME2 there, so that we skipped the codec call that comes through, but because the elevator keeps going down, then there's no problem, and Snake transitions through into the Raven fight. And again, we're going to use GME to be invulnerable. I'm going to SOCOM out. Start his iframes and throw a grenade. Second grenade, I think, is a bit too soon. And it's all about knowing when to next throw the next grenade. And that's Raven. But that fight can also be done with Nikita missiles as well. And pretty much the same way, just timing in Nikita missiles so that you hit him when he's vulnerable again, because he does have iframes. Grab those Stinger missiles, and we are now into Rex's lair. Skip that intro cutscene. Now, running through here, I'm going to be trying to answer all of Ottocon's codec calls as quickly as possible, because Snake stops when he receives a call, and we don't want him to stop. We want him to keep running. So I'm going to be trying to answer them as quickly as possible. And the quicker I answer them, the less you'll see of the call. So in that time, you didn't actually see the call light flash because I answered it at the right time. And same again there. You can, if you're very good, and unfortunately I missed it, you can get a frame perfect answer where you don't even hear it ring. But unfortunately I was a little slow grabbing that. So I'm going to shoot this guard down here. And I said before, right at the very start of the game, that we needed 11 alerts before the power key gets shot out of our hand. That is alert number 11. So we now have 11 alerts. The rat is not going to spawn, and we're going to be searching for the power key in the drainage ditch. Now, there are 7 locations that both the power key and a bomb can spawn, and it's completely random where they both spawn. There's nothing you can do to manipulate it. So this is like the biggest RNG moment of the entire run. If this is in a bad location or I pick up the bomb, it will waste a lot of time. If it's in a really good location, then it's going to save. I think the difference between like the worst possibility and the best possibility is about 30 seconds, which is quite significant. Okay, so let's hope for some good RNG. It's not there. We got the bomb. We got the PAL key. I need to throw away the bomb so that it doesn't blow me up. That wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, we grabbed the bomb, which slows me down because obviously I've got to throw the bomb away. If you keep the bomb on you until the timer goes out, then you die, and you will die even if you're in GME. Unfortunately, so yeah, that was a little bit slow. Generally, you want the power key to be in one of the first 3 locations, because those 3 locations are faster than killing the rat. Anything past the 3rd location, if the rat spawns in the right location, then the rat is quicker. I'm going to run and gun, kill that guard. Then I'm going to run straight for the computer console. Not worried about the camera spotting me because I can start the cutscene for entering the power key before the alert starts. Let's do a little bit of skating there so that Snake's footsteps can't be heard, and I can get past that guard without him spotting me. By equipping and unequipping your weapon, Snake never puts his foot down on the ground, and thus never makes the noise of clattering along the grate. So by doing that, it means that the guard doesn't hear it and doesn't turn around. It's in this one, it is only used at that very moment. I've been killing the guard on my way to the control room. You can skate instead, but it's a little bit slower because you want to have your weapon out at all times because Snake runs faster. Skating is slightly slower than just running with your weapon equipped. As long as I take the correct line there, those gun turrets can't shoot me. That room is a little bit pathetic. Those gun turrets are quite useless. Okay, so now we are waiting to freeze the power key. And you might be thinking at this point, but this is a speed run. Surely in a speed run you don't have to freeze and heat the key. Unfortunately, you still do. We have not found a way to skip the power key entry. So this is kind of the long slog section of the run. Now it takes 1 minute and 1 second for the power key to freeze or heat. Now you can work this out with timers, you can work this out by listening to the music. I have a split on live split above me, which starts the moment I enter the room. So as soon as that timer there goes to 1 minute and half a second, I'm just going to crouch, cancelling GME2 and move into the next area. And it takes half a second for Snake to crouch and move out. So by that time, the key will have frozen. There we go. Just like that. And the exact same thing is going to happen when I go into the blast furnace. So now it's just a case of running back up and putting the second power key in. And there's not really a lot to say at this point. The run is just running backwards and forwards as quickly as you can. There's nothing particularly special. I suppose one question that you might have, obviously the first time I came up here we had all those calls from Otacon, and I answered those calls as quickly as possible. But you might be thinking, well, you said you can GME, you can just go into GME, skip triggers, and you won't get the calls. That's what you did on the cargo elevator. You just skipped the call. Unfortunately, when you skip the call like that, Snake freezes in place. I can avoid the camera again here because I can be quick. Oh, unfortunately, I didn't quite get my movement right coming out of that room, so I just had a little time loss as the door closed there. But as long as you get out of the room before the door closes, you won't get caught by the gas. So I was saying about the codec calls. So when you skip a codec call, Snake stops in place because the game is expecting something to happen. So if you were to do that here, Snake would stop in place and the call would never start, and you would soft lock the game. You would not be able to do anything. You would actually have to load a save or quit the game. The reason why it works on the cargo elevator is because while Snake has stopped moving, the cargo elevator is still moving, so it still transitions into the next area. Right, so now we're going to go and heat the key. Again, it's the exact same journey all the way back to the blast furnace. The only difference is that they've thrown some guards into this room, and these guards are a bit pathetic because all I've got to do is run over on the left hand side and Snake's through the room. And on the way back, I'll just run around the right hand side and Snake will be through the room. So once again, I'm going to GME so that I skip any upcoming codec calls. So crouch, equip, cancel, and uncrouch. I'm now in GME 2. We're just going up the lift. There is nothing more to it. If you are a budding speedrunner, if you like the idea of this game and you want to try and find things, there is a large bounty in place to find a way to skip the power key entry. If you can do it, there are some big bucks up for grabs. But it's kind of the holy grail of Metal Gear Solid 1. If we ever found a skip for the power key, then we would shave so much time. I'm going to get lucky. No, I'm not going to get lucky with that camera this time. It is going to shoot me. So completely random as to which direction those cameras are facing when you enter this room. So sometimes they'll shoot you, sometimes they won't. At this point in the run, I'm not too worried about Snake's health to worry about the damage that I'll have taken from that. Right, into the blast furnace, and exactly the same as when I froze the key. I'm going to heat the key and wait 1 minute and 1 second for the key to heat. Time has started. Like I said, you can use audio cues. You can listen to the music and leave at the right time. There is a guard who patrols across the top here, and when he gets to a certain position, you know that 1 minute and 1 second has expired. But for me, it is just easier to use a timer on live split and move at the exact right time. If you, as you can see, because I'm in GME, that door doesn't close. The game still thinks that Snake is stood here, even though I'm over here. The game still thinks he stood at the door, which is why the door stays open. And it's kind of how GME works. If I was playing this on extreme, or maybe even on hard as well, I'd actually go and grab some more stinger ammo whilst waiting. But we don't need don't need any more ammo for Rex at this point. Not an easy. Alright, so timer is coming up. And final trek. Final trek, and we've got 2 more bosses and then an escape to do. Again, going to enter GME2 just in case. At this point, because I always enter GME2 when going on these elevators, I can't remember where the codec calls are. There isn't actually a codec call in that one, but I can't remember which elevators have codec calls, so I just enter GME2 on every single one because it doesn't hurt. With this camera here, I could enter GME1 so that if it did shoot me, then I would be invincible, but entering GME takes like half a second, or less than half a second to start. Snake stops in place as you equip the PSG-1. And then in order to interact with the control panel to move the elevator, I then have to go into first person, because after going into GME, Snake can't interact with objects. So I think even if you get shot by the gun turret, it's still quicker than activating GME and then going into first person. Also, you've also got the chance that you don't get shot. And if you don't get shot, then that's a bit of a time save. It's only a second, but every second counts in a run that is this well optimized. Even more so in any percent. In any percent, you don't have the 2 wolf fights. There's a lot less RNG. In fact, the only major RNG in an any percent run is the POW key location. And that can make or break a run. But it's something you have absolutely no control of. So we're just going to go right through the door. One last chaff grenade to knock out these cameras. I'm not going to grab that stinger ammo because I know I've got more than enough. Equip the POW key, but no more level 7 card, which is nice. Just going to equip the SOCOM because I'm going to be shooting that guard again. Final climb. Almost there. Yeah, if we can ever find a way of skipping the POW key entry, it is such a huge section. And not only is it a long section of the run, it's also the most boring section of the run, so it would be really, really good if we could skip it. But it's very unlikely, unless we find something incredible. Now, we can't go through the camera this time because we can't get over to the laptop in time, so we do have to go around it. We're going to make our one and only deliberate codec call of the run. It's the only time we initiate a codec call. That's to call Otacon to get him to stop the gas and open the door. The only other time normally in the game where you are 100% required to make a codec call is when you first contact Meryl, but because we do the vent glitch and go out of bounds, we don't have to do it. As you can probably imagine, with GME, Rex becomes quite trivial. Shoot as soon as he starts roaring, so that as soon as his hitbox becomes active, we hit it. As soon as that little explosion animation collapses, then I can fire the next missile. This bit is unskippable, except for the times where, for some reason, the good old games version of this game does skip it, and we don't know why. But during this little cutscene here, you can still weapon hotkey. And that's what Snake looks like during this scene. Just sort of action here. You can equip the Nikita, equip the PSG-1, but nothing will happen. Then go into GME there. Now I've moved forwards so that Liquid doesn't move Rex into any other position other than these two. If you're a bit further back, he'll sometimes move further backwards to try and hit you with a rocket. That's why we run forwards. Okay, so we're now coming up to the most technical skill portion of the run, the Liquid fight. I'm going to be timing punches so that I never kick him, but I keep Liquid in an infinite punch combo where he can't escape. It's very tricky, requires me to mute my headset so I can't hear it, so I can focus on the rhythm of my punches. I'm going to flip Liquid twice, and there to set him up in the right position, and I'm now going to be quiet. And that is a perfect Liquid fight. The only way that could be quicker is by doing a slightly different setup. It is possible to set him up into a position without flipping him, which is the quickest, but I am more consistent at that method, which is why I do that method. And even then, you're only saving 4 seconds, I think, with the fastest method. Again, going to choke that guard out. Get straight into the Jeep. Shoot that guard and shoot those barrels. You have to kill that guard. If you try and aim at the barrels behind him, it doesn't work. Okay, so we are now in the final section of the game. This is the escape. I'm going to aim exactly here so that I shoot the barrels at the first guard section straight away. There we go, that was nice and fast. Didn't get shot. That was very, very quick. Now I'm going to be trying to shoot these guards without getting shot. Unfortunately, getting shot here is completely random. There you go, got shot. That wasn't too bad, actually. Unfortunately, the guard on the right went all the way over to the right, which slows it down. Again, a lot of the movement and stuff there is random. There's not a lot we can do about it. We just have to deal with it. So with Liquid, it's about swerving and aiming well. So I'm going to be doing these big sweeping actions so that I hit him when his iframes end. Now I need to try and hit him twice here before this next section starts. I only hit him once, so unfortunately this section's going to last a little bit longer. And you can, if you fire on the frame that you get bumped, you will shoot him a little quicker. Let's reset him. So again, we're going to be doing these sweeping... Oh, went a bit too quick there. I'm going to be doing these big sweeping motions. This bit is a little finicky because Liquid's hitbox during this chase is very bad. Unfortunately, I missed 2 transition shots into this next sequence, but I've got that aim perfect there. So I'm now always move into the right position. I just stand here and shoot him. And then again, I'm just going to sweep from side to side just to try and get that hitbox. But that's it. That's the final hit. Just going to hold X to skip this cutscene. Mash start to skip that. Hold escape and X to skip the credits and all of the real-time cutscenes and stuff. And as soon as score appears on the screen, that is time. 1:02:34. So not as good as what I've done before, 27 seconds behind, but 1:02:34 is a very, very good time. My current aim is to try and get 1:01. I've not got a 1:01 yet, but 1:02 is still a very, very good time. Very, very good time for a race. And yeah, I'm very happy with that run. That was pretty good. Nothing major went wrong. Liquid was perfect. The Palki was not in a great position. The position of the Palki wasn't great, but then we also got the bomb on top of that, so that slowed things down a little bit. There's a couple of other things that didn't go so well. Ocelot wasn't great. Could have been a lot faster, but apart from that, it was still a very, very good time. 1:02, getting a 1:02 is very, very good. So yeah, really happy with that run. So that is Metal Gear Solid 1 PC All Bosses. I hope you've enjoyed it. I absolutely love running this game. It is an absolute delight to run, and the PC version with the weapon hotkeys is just so silly. going out of bounds and being invincible. It is a lot easier than the console run. It's a lot faster than the console run, and it's very, very quirky. So it's a lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this and listening to me commentate through it. If you have enjoyed it, then and you're watching the VOD, then you can catch me on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday at twitch.tv/NickRPGreen. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll think about picking this game up yourself and running it yourself. If you do want to do it, then make sure you check out metalgearspeedrunners.com and join the community and their Discord, because they are a fantastic bunch. So thank you very much. See you in the next one.